Who knew Donald Duck would be here? In our last segment, we spoke with Hillary Clinton's press secretary. Now, the Republican perspective with GOP Chairman Reince Priebus. Mr. Chairman, thanks for being here. Exciting night.
Yeah,
we're going to talk about the debate and your expectations in just a minute. I want to cover a couple of other news topics. First of all, Senator Kelly Ayotte in New Hampshire at a debate last night said that Donald Trump could be a role model. And then after the debate, she came out and issued a statement and said, I misspoke tonight. While I would hope all our children would aspire to be president, neither Donald Trump nor Hillary Clinton have set a good example, and I wouldn't hold up either of them as role models for my kids. So is Donald Trump a role model?
I think everyone's a role model in different ways, and I think he is a role model. When you look at someone who has built businesses, lost businesses, come back, lived the American dream, a person who sets goals, he's a winner. I think he is a role model. And look, I think all of us in different ways are role models. I mean, there's some things I'm good at, there's some things you're good at, and I think we're all God's children, and we all have and good in all of us. So.
And these kids are obviously fired up behind
us. There's nothing better than being a college Republican or a college Democrat. This is like the Super Bowl for them, so I get it.
Yeah, especially at Longwood University. Senator Warren, she tweeted out, you can't take this back, you can't walk it back. Is this a problem for Senator Ayotte?
No, I don't think it's a problem at all. Look, she's got to run her race in New Hampshire, and she's doing a great job, and she's one of the best senators in the country. But look, I think you got to look at what's disqualifying. What's disqualifying, what Mr. Fallon didn't talk about in the previous segment was the fact that here you have a Secretary of State that is gaining her wealth by selling her position to foreign countries, bringing money in the door to the Clinton Foundation, then profiting on those through speeches and sending Bill Clinton across the country. That's the issue. I mean, we can talk all day long about quotes that Donald Trump has given from 25 years ago, or whether he lost almost, whether there was a business carryover in a tax return in 1995. But the point is, when Hillary Clinton was asked about something really important, like whether or not she gave away state secrets, she told the IRS 39 times, I don't recall. That's important. And she is not fit for the job because she has been in the job and she hasn't succeeded. She's failed at every level.
Well, something Donald Trump said just last weekend on Twitter is probably going to come into focus tonight. One would guess that Senator Kaine is going to go after that on the temperament issue. Donald Trump tweeting tonight, I will be watching the great Governor Mike Pence, live tweeting the VP debate starting at 8:30 Eastern Time. Enjoy. So are you worried about the live tweeting?
I'm not worried about it at all. I talked to Donald about it this morning. I'm not worried about it.
Look, but what about the temperament attack that they are now hitting again and again and again?
Well, that's their attack. But you want to talk about temperament, I mean, all you have to do is look at Hillary Clinton. I mean, you can look at Hillary Clinton's temperament. You can look how she's used her position from way before, whether it was when Bill Clinton was Attorney General, when he was governor, when she was First Lady, when she was Senator, when she was Secretary of State. At every single level, she's used her positions to either gain wealth or get ahead on the back of the taxpayers. Donald Trump is a guy who's built his fortune by himself through business. I mean, he did it the American way. Hillary Clinton has made a fortune off of what? Off of serving the American people? The question is not what Donald Trump's tax return says. The question is, how is it that Hillary Clinton, who has apparently been in public service for 30 years, made $200 million? How's that possible?
All right, President Obama, I referenced it in the last interview, wrote an op-ed saying, in a city of self-inflicted wounds, this, talking about the Merrick Garland holdup, is one of the more dangerous, less defensible than most. 202 days since I nominated Merrick Garland to the Supreme Court. On countless priorities, he writes, issues that matter to people across the country, regardless of their politics, Republicans in Washington have traded progress for partisanship. Their obstruction underscores a fundamental misunderstanding of the way our government should work. Your response?
My response is when President Obama had full reign over the House and the Senate, they passed a massive stimulus package that totally failed and drove up the national debt and the deficit. He passed Obamacare, which is failing all over the country. Thank God Mitch McConnell, Paul Ryan, and Speaker Boehner came in to stop that agenda. But I would say this. When it came to Keystone Pipeline, he blocked it. When it came to overhauling Obamacare, he blocked it. You know, for the first time in 10 years, Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell passed the first bicameral budget bill in 2015 in over 10 years. The only person that's incapable of bringing people together in Washington, D.C. is President Obama and his cohort, Hillary Clinton. That's what this election is all about.
Vice President Biden today jumped on something that Donald Trump said about PTSD last night. The Trump campaign has been clear that they said the person who asked it was satisfied with the response, but here's Vice President Biden today.
Then he points out to the veterans in the room and says, and you're strong, you can handle it, but a lot of people can't handle it. Where in the hell is he from? No, this is deadly earnest. I don't think he was trying to be mean. He is just so thoroughly, completely uninformed.
What about that?
Well, look, if you listen to his entire statement, it was very compassionate. You talked to the generals that were in the room. They totally disagreed with that characterization. I think people like Joe Biden, Obama, and Hillary Clinton should really ask the question why these vets aren't taken care of when they come back on their watch. They're waiting in lines at VAs across the country, in some cases dying, and they didn't do a thing about it. So Joe Biden, if he's mad, he ought to look in the mirror and ask himself why after his entire career, 8 years as vice president, he didn't do a darn thing about it. It's on his watch, not on Donald Trump. He's the private citizen. They're the ones that were in the position to do something.
Same question I left Brian Fallon with. Your expectations for tonight? Heated policy? What does it look like, this debate?
Look, I think it's going to be heated over policy, put it that way. I mean, I think these are two people that have been involved for a long time. But look, if you look at Tim Kaine and what he's done as governor here, raising taxes, the budgets went out of control. He didn't do a good job in Virginia. You compare that to Mike Pence, unemployment down, spending down, a big turnaround that he continued with Mitch Daniels in Indiana. It's a great career and a great story.
Mr. Chairman, thanks for the time.
Thank you, Brad.